guys, welcome to my channel. So today I really want to make some vegan donuts. I bought these little donut pans a really long time ago, probably like over 6 months ago, and I was like, I'm gonna make the donuts. And it's 6 months later and I still haven't made any donuts. So I looked up a few recipes online and I'm gonna kind of like follow it but shift up the ingredients a little bit. I found a couple recipes that I liked online that didn't seem too difficult, so I ran to the store today and I bought some flour and vegan butter. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna get everything out that I need. So the recipe that I'm looking at apparently calls for wheat gluten flour. I don't know what that is. Alright, so I'm not going to follow this recipe exactly because it seems super complicated. So I'm going to combine the two recipes that I have looked up and see how it turns out. And this is probably going to be already a huge mistake and I'm already regretting this because a couple of them, just some of the things, ingredients I don't want to use. Like they want me to use aquafaba, which is like the water from chickpeas, like canned chickpeas, and I really don't want to deal with that right now because I have an egg replacement. And then the other one is asking for whatever type of wheat gluten bread, which I don't have, and I want to use cake flour to see how it comes out. And then I have all-purpose flour, which I got. And then this one also wants me to use a bunch of different, it wants me to use the aquafaba, then it wants me to use ground flaxseed, which are both like egg replacements. So, and then it wants me to use ounces, everything's in ounces. And I am not trying to measure anything out today besides using my measuring cups, but apparently the best way to bake is actually weighing everything out. We're going to start with activating the dry yeast. They want to use 1.5 teaspoons of the quick rise yeast. So half a cup of warm water to activate the dry yeast to start out with. We'll go ahead and combine all the wet ingredients. So it wants me to do aquafaba flaxseed, but instead I have the egg replacement, the soy protein vegan egg, 2 leveled out packed, 2 of these is 1 egg. So there's 1 packed tablespoon and another packed. Half a cup of ice cold water. So I really need to buy a whisk so that I could do stuff like this, because you're supposed to whisk this together. And then we're going to go ahead and add the rest of the sugar to this. So 5 ounces of coconut milk. I hate math. So I think from the liquid up here, I'm going to just do a half a cup of the better half. I'm going to use half a cup of this. You know what? We're just going to probably fail completely at this recipe today. Or it's going to come out really good. Who knows? It's also, if you've never tried to activate dry yeast, it gets foamy at the top. That is pretty much almost activated. And I really wanted to use vegan butter in this recipe. It calls for coconut oil, but I'm going to use vegan butter. I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of butter. So probably 1.5 tablespoons. It calls for 16 ounces of all-purpose flour or bread flour. And your girl is not weighing anything out today. And I don't know math. Apparently, I'm too lazy. But I know that like the weight of something isn't the same in cups like when you're using like flour. I think I learned that in nutrition. I don't know. I don't know how to bake. So I'm going to use 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to do 1/2 cup of cake flour. And then we're going to go ahead and whisk this. So it came out into a batter. I think I'm going to add another 1/2 cup of flour. And then I'm just going to fold this in. You probably do want a batter and then you just put it in here. But I'm just picturing something totally different. Okay, I'm liking this consistency. It's battery, but it's doughy at the same time, which is kind of what I wanted. I'm gonna go ahead and let this rise for about 45 minutes. First time making vegan donuts, and so far I didn't ruin the batter completely, which is awesome. Normally I'm like, what the hell? So I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, cover that, let it rise. Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes and I'm gonna check on how much it has risen. My house is a little cold, so I don't know how well. So it rose a little bit, which isn't bad because we're gonna let it rise again once I get them into the little donut molds. So I don't ever use plastic bags ever, but I found this random one that came from something that I bought. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and put the dough in here. And then we're gonna cut the corner off. So pretty much this recipe is pretty easy. The only thing that you really have to do is wait. A lot of waiting, because I think I'm gonna let them rise for another 30 minutes. And then probably when they're almost done, I'm gonna go ahead and preheat my oven. I should look at how, I think that hers that she made, she fried. And I could fry them, and they're totally good that way. But I'm gonna bake mine. Make them a little bit healthier than the fried donuts. But if you want to go all out and fry them, I would totally do it. Towards the corner, we're just going to cut that off. We're just kind of round them in there somehow. Oh God, I'm failing. This is hard. It might have been easier to just spoon them in there. You know what's weird? None of these recipes called for vanilla extract, and I expected more sugar in the dough, and some of them didn't even call for sugar. Maybe it's because they're sweet when you add your icing and stuff. I don't know. So we have 9 donuts, and they're gonna be in the pans. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick these into the oven and let them rise some more for about 30 minutes. And then I guess while those are rising, we can make our frosting. I'm going to do maybe a maple, a chocolate, and a matcha. We are going to start with the chocolate donut glaze, and so I have my cacao powder, we have my butter, and we're going to be using the better half coconut cream and almond milk. So I'm going to start out with 1 teaspoon of vegan butter, 2 tablespoons of cacao powder. So we got 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then 2 tablespoons of our half and half. So next we're going to do the same thing, but with 2 tablespoons of matcha powder. Let me Google how to make a maple glazed, just in case that it wouldn't be the same as the chocolate. Okay. So for the one that I found is pretty much the same. Maple syrup, except for it wants me to get maple extract. I don't have maple extract. And then also powdered sugar. So same thing, 1 cup of powdered sugar. And I think I'm actually, because I made this Beagle caramel, and for color, let's do 1/4 teaspoon of this. Maple syrup. And I think on this one I'm going to skip out on the butter. Okay, 30 minutes later, and my donuts have risen, kind of, but not really. So here they are. This one's super rosy. I don't know, they just look super light, super fluffy. Here's the other batch. So my oven's preheated right now at 375, and this one where I seen where you bake them, only 10 minutes. We'll see how that goes. But they're super fluffy. So I'm hoping that they're this fluffy when I bake them. And they're just, I don't know, fluffy donuts are the best. I only got 9 donuts. I was hoping for 12. But I guess I don't really need 12 donuts. It would have been nice to like share them with people. So we're gonna put them in the oven at 375 for 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna check on them and see if they're done. All right, so these took about 15 minutes to bake, and this is how they came out. Not all of them are perfect. We'll start out with chocolate icing. You're just gonna want to like dip it and kind of twirl it in there. Then take it out and set it aside. Let's do a matcha. Dip it, twirl it. That's so pretty. We gotta do the maple. I think I'm more excited about the maple than any one of them. So pretty. Let's do half and half. Half chocolate. Half maple. And then like drizzle the, I'm making a mess, matcha on top. They're not the prettiest in the world, but I want to try the maple one first. I'm like in love with the way it smells. So beautiful. There you have it. Those are some vegan donuts that I made for the very first time. They didn't come out beautiful, and I would have done the icing different. But other than that, I feel like these came out really, really good for my first vegan donuts that I ever have made myself from scratch. They came out super, super good. You got the chocolate glazed, we got the matcha, the maple glazed, and then the one that I just kind of screwed around with and mixed both. But there you have it, vegan donuts. They came out super soft and fluffy, just like I wanted them to. Not bad for someone who really hates following instructions, and I'm a terrible baker, but I wanted to give it a try, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.